Welcome back in, everybody. I am going to paint with you today a very fun and very fast Christmas card idea, or you could make it Christmas art. And it's just something you're going to have fun with. And you could make a lot of these in a day if you wanted to send out to your friends and family. Just showing you my supplies very quickly. This is some 4x6 watercolor paper. I think I got a pack of like 100 of them on Amazon very inexpensively. And I've got a size 14 round brush. Please use whatever size and style of brush you would like. I've got a white jelly roll pen, size 10. And then I've just shown you 3 different black pens that I've got here. Sharpie pen, Sharpie Gel Pen, and a Micron size 8. Really just use what you've got. If you've got just a fine liner of a different brand, it's totally fine. Some Q-tips, and of course, our paint. So let us get started. We are just going to very loosely, I'm going to hold my brush quite far up the handle there, and you want a triangular shape, okay? So, and you can do it as jaggedy or as smoothly as you'd like. I really want this to be whimsical and kind of that naive art style that we've talked about before. And so I'm leaving it just like that. Even a little tip at the end, a little slant at the end there, that's fine. And we're going to dry that. Okay, and then we're just going to come right on in and we are going to draw a straight line down the middle. And I'm just using my Sharpie pen. And there's a number of things you can do. You can do like the Christmas tree, little triangular things coming down. You can do branches going upwards. I am going to do kind of swoopy branches going down and out a little bit. So just play with it. You could even just get a piece of notebook paper with a pen and practice different styles of trees that you may want to play with. And finally, we're going to do this. Okay, and I'm going to start you can leave it just like this. Simplicity is a beautiful thing, but I decided I want to add some like pine needles on mine. So I'm going to start out doing it in regular speed, just to show you that I'm not trying to be careful, okay? And it's basically a V shape all the way, but I just do one side at a time, and I'm just not being careful, okay? So just kind of go like that. I'm not like, okay, let's be careful. Nope, I'm just kind of going like that, and some of them will touch and some of them won't. And now I'm just going to speed it up because I'm doing that on all the rest of the branches. And I'm just going to kind of thicken up the trunk there a little bit, and then we're just going to make a little bit of a basket for this guy. Basket or pot, whatever you want to put your tree in. Okay. Okay, and now we're going to add some more color. We're going to start with the obvious red, and this is where we're going to bring our Q-tips in, or we're going to just dip it in here, and we're just going to, plop. Make sure you get enough on there. I might have to come back with a second coat. I'm going to add some more red in here because that is soaking up my paint more than I expected. All right, maybe a little bit of this red too. I'm kind of mixing 2 reds together. All right, let's see what this does for us. I'm not getting enough on here. I'm going to dip my Q-tip in the water. There we go. Getting it nice and wet. Just kind of put them here and there. All right, maybe one right here. And we've got one hanging down here, right off the page. Yeah, I'm definitely going to come in with a second coat of those reds. And we're going to leave that. We're going to leave the reds like that for now. And I'm going to dry this. And you really do want to dry it all the way in between your coats, because if I were to just go over this red while the first coat was still wet, it just doesn't work that way. It's just going to either lift the color or soak it up and make it even lighter. So you want to dry it thoroughly in between if you're trying to get a darker color on there. And there's our red ornaments. Just trying to get the edge where I didn't quite get it. All right, while those dry, I am going to paint in our basket here. And I did switch sizes of brush. I've got a size 6 here. You don't have to. I'm just going to be a little careful with mine. And we're going to just make this a nice brown little basket or pot, whatever you want to call it. And I'm probably going to add some more pen detail to this because I just want it to be really, really whimsical. And it's okay to leave a little bit of white showing through too. It's all good. Just play with it and have fun. We're going for whimsy here. I'm going to go ahead and give that a good dry. So I just sat here and looked at this a little bit. I really just want to leave red ornaments on here. I think they look the best. I'm going to add a couple over on these longer branches. I'll put one here, and again, I will be adding a second coat to that one as well. Let's see. This branch doesn't have one. Let's put one up there. And let's put one on this one as well. Okay, and we're going to let those dry. I think I'll just bring my heat gun in. All right, go in with our second coat on those 3 that we just added. Loving it, loving it. I did this one a little bit smaller, and I want to try to keep it small if I can. All right, drying those just to kind of speed up the process. I did notice this branch. I want him to have one too. Not that every branch has to have one, it's just a personal preference. And this one is too light for me. I could have used a darker red. That's okay. I'm just adding a little bit more color to these ones that are too light for my liking. Right. Okay, this might ruin it, but I'm going to give it the old college try. I'm going to come in with yellow and do some very whimsical lights. And I think we're going to just start up here, and I'm going to do dots to start off with. I'm going to kind of have a lot of paint and water on my brush. And just doing, like I said, little dots with my yellow watercolor paint. They don't have to be spaced perfectly. I'll speed this up so that you can just watch what I'm doing here. That one was a line. Okay, now I'll speed it up. I'm going to come back in with my Sharpie pen. And this is where we're going to be super free with our circles around our ornaments, okay? You're just going to do it. Some of them are going to go out. Some of them are going to go in the ornament. This one I'm trying to be a little more covering up that red. You can do a couple circles around some of them if you want. All right, see what I'm doing there? Nice and free. All right, did I get all of them? I did. Now this is where I want to come down here and add a little bit more whimsy to our little basket. Okay, there we go. Loving it, loving it. Now I'm going to come in with my white gel pen. Again, I've got a jelly roll, number 10. And I'm just going to do a few little highlights on our bulbs here. there's no real rhyme or reason to this. I'm just kind of having the light shine on the bulbs. The lights are hitting it a little bit, okay? Maybe this has a few lines going through it too. Okay, and then for our lights, I'm going to do little asterisks. So you're going to see some of the yellow, but you're going to see the white kind of shining. And some of them are going to be more bold than the others. Oh, I didn't put a little highlight on that guy. All right, and then we are just going to bring some kind of like a blue-gray, that's my choice, you can use what you want, for a little shadow under our tree, just kind of under the basket. So you can see it's like on the floor. Maybe it's just more of a floor than a shadow because we're going to have the lights come in. You know, you get the idea. I'm just going to add a little bit more there because that makes me feel better. There we go. Now, I have shared in the past, I am not good at making stars the way where you don't have the lines in the middle. But we're going for whimsy here, so it's going to be whimsical. That's what I am going with. All right. There we go. Whimsical. I mean, you can't get much more whimsical than that. So let's let that dry. You do want your ink to dry before you add paint. I'm actually going to dry it. That might sound kind of weird, but if your ink is not dry and you add paint, it's going to bleed right into it. The pen is going to bleed right into it. So I am going to put a star on the top. And maybe even some lines. Little lines shining bright. How's that? I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, there you have it. What do you think? Are you going to give it a try? I think she's pretty darling, you know? And again, this would be a sweet little card. It kind of reminds me of like Dr. Seuss or of like the Grinch, you know, Whoville. If I would have made that a little more curvy, it would have been kind of maybe even more whimsical. But let me know if you give this a try. You can make it into a card. You could write Merry Christmas if you left enough room. You could put it in a frame and give it as a gift or use it for your own home decor. Whatever you do, if you try it, I would love to hear about it. And if you do, I hope you have tons of fun with it. And either way, take good care and we'll see you in the next video.